You are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and across the screen from me is my brown brother.
Sid Sheeran, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, Paul.
So today is a very exciting day. I'm excited, and I know Timothy is excited. You see the title of the video. What's up?
I sure am.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You see the title of the video. You see the little graphic down there. Armbar Mania 2. So, real quick, what is Armbar Mania? Well, 5 years ago, damn, it's been 5 years. Holy Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm with Gary V. Anyways, yeah, 5 years ago. Book of Tea. Yeah, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Anyways, 5 years ago, myself, Tim, and the big man upstairs, John, we came together and we did something. We did something called
John the God! Because everyone says, the big man upstairs.
Yeah. I mean, he's the literal big man upstairs, so,
Oh,
Hey,
geez.
hey, he would have loved that, okay? He would have loved that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Love you, man.
Fantastic.
Anyway, we love you, John. But
We love you.
we all did
I can't hate you.
what the fuck? We all did a Bro, hold on. Okay, you need to stop making me laugh. I want to get through this intro. All right. We all did a card. We all did
Well, I forgot you were the host. You just stole the hosting responsibilities out from under me.
Sorry, I was just kind of practicing this preamble.
Yeah, do it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, but yeah, we did something called the Armbar Mania. We covered the WrestleMania card, and then we got into this fantasy card, which is called Armbar Mania. We actually booked our own WrestleMania, and we all thought, what better way to commemorate Mania season this year than by bringing this back?
Yes. The three of us in the original video, we didn't collaborate on one card. We actually came up with our own individual cards, and because I'm insane, and I love so much different wrestling, and I need everybody on a show.
Yeah.
This week, I reached out to Sid and I said, "Isn't WrestleMania 2 days?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can we do 10 and 10, and like we'll do this episode this week, and then the next night 2 next week, so then it will lead up to actual WrestleMania?" And he said, "I was thinking the same thing." First, he said, "Dude." And usually whenever Sid says dude or brah, I'm like, okay, he's telling me I'm crazy. So I immediately messaged you back, all right, that's fine. And you said, I was thinking the same thing this morning. And I went,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah. That was for dramatic effect. I knew exactly what you were thinking when I said
that. But another thing is, both this idea came about because Sid went back in the annals of Armbar Audio and was watching that episode. And realized how much fun we were having, the three of us. And
the audio was shit though.
Just now it was garbage. And we did have fun, and I watched some of it this week, and Sid was trying to go through his preamble that he tried to that he's been practicing, and all of everything that just happened, Sid, just reminded me of how we were then. Yeah. So I feel like even though it messed up your preamble, it was more in the spirit of Armbar Audio.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're good. I don't feel bad. I don't give a shit.
Oh no, I'm just like I just meditated.
Nice.
So like I'm like super like aware. So like I wasn't planning that. It just like all that happened, and then I made the connection, and you know.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I got you. Yeah, I think so. But I gotta ask you, Tim. Let's see. A lot has changed from 5 years ago to today. Are you even like that excited for WrestleMania this year?
You know what? I say I'm not, and I don't really know. I watch WWE only when I'm at John's family's house.
Yeah.
Because his grandfather likes it, so I watch it. And I haven't really seen much of Raw. I think the new NXT is terrible, but I like what I've seen from SmackDown.
Yeah.
And because I'm deprogrammed from Vince Brain and WWE machine, it's really nice every once in a while to go to WWE and watch it because it feels refreshing.
Yeah.
Um, Also, with the continued cleanup that's happening over there, you know, obviously with Vince, Brock, and John Laurinaitis, but now it's been released about Nick Khan and somebody else. It seems like they actually are taking it more seriously than we were all afraid that they wouldn't. So I mean, WWE has a lot of talent,
Yeah, they do.
and Uh, I get why people like it, and that's okay. Like, I'm not against it. Um, and with the changes, like I said, and like tradition, I'm gonna watch WrestleMania because of tradition. I watched it last year with John's family and John. Me and John weren't all that hyped about it, but we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And now John's gone, and I'm gonna watch it with them because I I have that feeling too.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Uh, I am excited for um I am excited
Okay.
for Rhea and Becky, Io and Bailey, um, Seth and Drew, Cody and Roman. I think the tag match will be cool. There's a lot of good talent there. I hate Logan Paul,
Yeah.
but
But he's
but
good.
it'll be interesting to see what happens with Orton and Owens. I can't tell you like what's going on because I don't really keep up. I don't care about the Usos match. Like I feel like the Usos thing has jumped the shark. I feel the Bloodline thing has jumped the
Yeah.
shark, and it almost feels like just from social media and just from the clips that I see, it feels like for 2 years or however long Roman Reigns has held this position in this company. And as soon as The Rock came in, it feels like he's secondary in this story.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that Roman, while he is a great sports entertainer and while he is a great wrestler, he does not hold the star power of a Rock, of a John Cena. And yes, we
Or
all
Hulk Hogan.
wanted this heel turn and we wanted all this stuff
Yeah.
because it would push him in the right direction, and it has.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just not that guy. But I know who is Cody Rhodes. So, um, I mean, if they don't do it this year, man,
I don't know, man.
it's just ridiculous. Wait, Sami Zayn's facing Walter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hyped as shit for that match.
That's good. Gonna be good. Another match that I think could be like a potential dark horse of the night is actually AJ versus LA Knight. Like that could be a good match because it's AJ, man.
Yeah.
It's AJ Styles. He can pull dream matches out of his butt, so it's no big deal.
I got a question for you since you're a very, very into bodybuilding type of stuff.
Sure.
Do you think AJ Styles is natural right now? Have you seen him recently?
I have. I definitely see like his arms are bigger. Um,
His his upper body is
his
fucking massive.
his upper butt. Yeah. I. You know what? He definitely, if he was, I feel like it's natural. But if I wouldn't be surprised if he was on like TRT or something, which is like a
That's
testosterone enhancement supplement. So
right.
if he is, it wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, that's what it
Yeah, I
is.
mean, he was gone for a good period of time.
Yeah,
And, if you put your mind to something, you could definitely achieve
yeah, absolutely.
a lot. So I was just wondering what your thoughts on that were.
I mean, he looks good, man.
Another th- I feel another person who has been pushed to a secondary role because of The Rock is LA Knight. LA
Yeah,
Knight's character is a throwback to Austin and The Rock, and bigger than life characters with catchphrases and stuff. And um, you know, I I'm not the only one who feels that way. I've seen a lot of discourse online. Um, so you know, but yeah, it should be good. They're both great wrestlers. All the WWE doesn't sign or train bad wrestlers, and if
no,
they are bad, they take them off TV and retrain them again. So,
unless your
I
name's
mean,
Nia
what
Jax.
the thing that I did like about NXT when I did watch it was the amount of names that I didn't recognize that had characters set apart, had um they were unique, and
Right.
that was cool. It's just I don't know, it just didn't connect with me. Um
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
what about you, Sid? How are you feeling about this year's WrestleMania card?
I definitely think the spectacle is still there. Um,
It's always going to be.
yeah, it's
The
so it's WrestleMania. I think like
production, WWE has production uh like down.
to a science.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it'll be.
absolutely. Yeah. See, we don't hate the Fed. We just don't talk about them as much. But I mean, except in this episode. But
Because the people who run it are scumbags.
yeah, hopefully. Oh, by
Or
the
can
way, I was
run it.
just reading a report right now. John freaking Laurinaitis. Basically, I think he signed a waiver to not a waiver of service to so that he's apparently that means so it says John Laurinaitis also implicated in the lawsuit
Does
recently
that mean he's Janelle Grant Butler?
huh.
Does that mean he's Janelle Grant's butler?
I don't know. I hope so. Actually, I hope
A
not.
waiver of service? I don't know what that means.
Me neither. He's okay. So hold on. So John Laurinaitis recently submitted a waiver of service, indicating his awareness of the legal proceedings and his exemption from formal service. This paperwork was officially lodged with the United States District Court of Connecticut. John Laurinaitis doesn't need to be served. According to the it's a legal exempt proceedings and his exemption from formal services. Okay, fine. Furthermore, Laurinaitis committed to providing a response within 60 days from March 15th, marking the initial reaction from any defendants involved. This signifies a pivotal step in the legal process as the case continues to unfold within the system.
Does that mean he's free to go, or what? Like, what does that mean? I don't understand.
Me neither. From what I understand is basically I think he's kind of throwing Vince under the bus.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, well,
it's about
Jesus, dude,
time.
like friggin'
I mean, not good, but at the same time, like good. Like Vince is the main character here, but everybody should be held accountable.
yeah.
Um,
I think
but
he's like no, I
anyway,
think he's basically more or less becoming an informant from what I understand. Like that's what it seems like. So basically he's basically saying I am willing to help you if you do not implicate me in court. So he's basically just serving the federal the actual feds. He's one of the yeah, he's a snitch now basically. So It's like holy shit, dude. like
Oh well.
like that's I mean, like don't get me wrong, that's a dick move, but you know, in considering the person he's, you know, been implicated with, I don't blame him. So,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
this ain't the street.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
white collar people. It's not like a gang of creeps are gonna
yeah,
roll up on him and end
yeah,
his
cause
life or something.
they'll be fresh as hell when the feds watch it.
I'll be fresh as hell with the feds watching.
So,
Top drop,
yeah.
head bopping.
Man, those guys, I took them all so for granted. I feel so bad. Anyway, but I think that's enough talk about. I don't want to even mention his name, but Voldemort as at this point. and um, but like as far as WrestleMania, like definitely Cody versus Roman is the match I'm looking forward to, and you know I understand what you said about Dwayne, but I gotta say, this is probably like he's like the a 2.0 version of Hollywood Rock now. And in my opinion, Hollywood Rock was like the best rock. That's just me. Okay? Now, corporate rock was good too, but I loved Hollywood Rock. Heel rock is always the best, in my humble opinion. And so, like,
Okay.
I did love this, but at the same time, I also feel like he can't say some of the things that he wants to say. Like he repeatedly called Seth Rollins a walking clown emoji, which, yeah, it's funny, but I know for a fact that this was Attitude Era, he would have said something that would have pissed off the LGBTQ community so badly.
I mean, I saw a post that literally like it compared the character Blanche from Golden Girls, like her wardrobe with Seth's,
Yeah,
and like that is definitely something they could say, you know what I
yeah,
mean, and not get heat like from reality or whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, it's whatever.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I really do hope Cody Rhodes finishes the story. Please finish the damn story. Like,
Yeah. I
anyway.
think I think Walter and Sami Zayn are given the time and the
Mm-hmm.
creativity to do their jobs the way they know how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
That match could possibly rival Takeshita versus Osprey, in my opinion.
It has the potential to absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's weird though. Butch is Pete Dunne again, but Walter is still Gunther. But whatever. Anyway, I don't want to. That's a whole another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's gonna be continually called Walter here for the next 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah. Cause spoiler, he's on our card. All right,
Obviously.
all
He,
right.
one
So
of the best
night one.
wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah. So night one, what we did is we actually booked 20 matches in total. 10 for night one, 10 for night two. Um, I didn't. I don't think we really established a pre-show anything. We just booked 10 matches.
Yeah, what's the point of saying pre-show? Like,
Yeah.
either watch the show or you don't. And
Yeah.
Sid's going to go first with his first match, and then I'll go with mine,
Yep.
and then it will culminate in Sid's main event, and then my main event,
Yep.
and then we'll say goodbye to you people.
Yeah. Well, so real quick question. One more question I had for you before we get show everybody our card. So, you kind of alluded to this in the beginning, but what was like your thought process going into booking your card? Just want to know.
Well, I mean, I have ideas swirling in my head about fantasy matches constantly. There's a match on night two that has been in my head for over a year. Um, I usually just go with like my gut feeling of who I'd like to see wrestle, but sometimes I think, um, and we'll get to this more on down the line. I think it's my third match or fourth match. There sometimes with one particular wrestler, there's a couple really good choices, and it's hard to um pull the trigger on a decision. Um, but and I'll go into that when I get to the match that I really had to go through that situation. Um, I love fantasy booking. You know, when we were starting out, when you were the nerdy Mark and we were Armbar
Yeah,
Audio
I still am the
alone.
nerdy
Yeah.
market.
There was a podcast. I feel it's still a podcast, but it's not the same. Like I think he does different stuff now. Omega Luke. Remember Omega Luke?
Yeah, yeah.
And he would
Shout outs
he
to him,
would
man.
give a situation to two people who were competing, and they both had to record their fantasy booking. He would play both of them and then judge them. Like I just love fantasy booking.
Same.
Because I mean, who doesn't want to run their own show?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see what they want to see? Um, but yeah, I was very excited for this. And I got even more excited for it whenever I went back and watched some of the old episode, and it brought some life back into wanting to do this podcast. To be honest,
For sure. Yeah. I think for me, you know, I also really love fantasy booking. I've done a handful of them on my channel. Um, and I think the difference though between us, I like to book like the big storylines. I think you like booking matches, from what I can see. But I mean, you'll do both. But if we were both
well,
running a
here's
promotion,
the thing. If I was running a promotion, I would definitely think about the storylines more. Uh,
no, if we were both
uh,
running the promotion,
but, but like if you hit me up on Tuesday and say we should do Armbar Mania, my anxiety kicks in, and I'm like, I have to have a card by Friday or whatever.
yeah,
So I'll just like go, you know. But if you want me to create storylines for each of these matches, I could do it. Like I could probably do it pretty easily.
okay.
But yeah, I'm definitely more of a Tony Khan than a Vince McMahon.
I personally am a big story guy, so I can't tell you like every spot that I want to book in a match. Like I can't give you that. I can tell you the full story that culminates finally in a wrestling match, but I can't give the whole. I can't say okay they're gonna do this move and that move and then he hits his finisher. None of that. But
No, that's almost impossible.
yeah, that's
You
just
know what I
like
mean? Especially
yeah,
like you got to give the listeners kind of a benefit of the doubt that they know who these people are, so
true,
they can leave it to their own imagination.
yeah,
I mean, of course, when you get certain people in there, you know, you can come up with certain spots that'll be fun, but yeah, you
right.
can't.
So I will
It's
just tell you
impossible.
this real quick. I basically booked an AEW and WWE Supercard because that's what I really want to see. That's just me. Because that's like the Marvel and DC of pro wrestling at this point. Like that's like the Marvel versus DC movie that we'll never get in pro wrestling form. So that's why I did it. With that being said, I think we're already like about 24 minutes in. So let's dig into this.
And mine,
Armbar.
mine has a lot of Japanese wrestlers from all kinds of promotions because if
Yes, it
AEW
does.
didn't exist, I probably would only watch Japanese wrestling.
True. Yeah.
But
And okay. Here's the thing. You were talking about like all these people that you wanted. Just know that it also, obviously, the guy making the graphics also had a fun time finding all those images. So, anyway, all right. So let's kick this off. Match one of the night. Match one, night one. Mine was Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and the Guns Up, versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And I actually looked this up, and apparently they're called the Pride. So, okay. I just wanted to see this.
like the Lions.
Huh?
like lions.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but yeah, I really wanted to see this match for a while. Not really for a while, but I just kind of wanted to give Jay a place on the card, and as well as the Bullet Club Gold. And I think will be a very interesting match to see. And I mean, Street Profits are good. Bobby Lashley actually is really good. If you take away the sister stuff, and but yeah, I mean it's I think it would be fun to see this. And by the way, another thing, we did not use wrestlers who are currently injured. Just FYI. So
If
yes,
they're injured or inactive for any reason, they're not on this show. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is how we're kicking off my card.
And I think so with this match, I really like to see how the Guns would match up against the Profits, because Street Profits have more big match um experience, and they're a little bit they're more fine-tuned, but the Guns are brothers, and for as much inexperience as they have, they've shown a lot of growth. When
Definitely
you compare Bobby Lashley and Jay White, I think it's a really good matchup because Bobby Lashley is this huge powerhouse, and he just ragdolls people, and Jay White is a very psychological, very defensive, and very clever. I think this would make for a really good match. Um, and to talk about, you said, about Bobby Lashley, other than the sister stuff, like ever since the Hurt Business started, Bobby Lashley's role in WWE has not missed, in my opinion.
true.
And I do like what they're doing with him now, kind of bringing up the Street Profits from the street to a classier place. But yeah, who do you have going over?
Oh, I didn't think about that at all.
Well, what the hell?
I mean, last time we didn't do it either, so I was like, whatever. Well, okay, we can do this. You tell me who you got going over on my matches. I'll tell you who I would want to see on yours. So I'll ask you that question.
Okay, okay.
I think I know the answer,
Uh,
but yeah.
I think that despite his cunning efforts, um, the Street Profits would overpower the Ass Boys, and it would come down to Bobby and Jay, and Jay White would hit the the Blade Runner,
Hmm.
but as he was covering uh Lashley, I think Montez Ford would come off the top with his frog splash and hit Jay, and then Lashley would just pick the bones, pick him up, and uh, do a power move. Like last I checked, he was finishing people off with the Hurt Lock, but I
Yeah,
don't know if he had a power move in his back pocket.
I mean
And that would
the
be
spear.
that would Yeah, there you go. There you go. As they're both like getting up, he'd hit the spear on Jay, and Bobby Lashley would win the match.
Okay, nice. Okay, so what was yours, Tim? Your first match of the
My
night.
first match, I kind of went with the idea where that you see on a lot of big shows. They start off with something real fast paced, real acrobatic, something to get the crowd into it right away. I went with a Ultimate X match, uh, with two teams, two trios. You got the Rascals. Now, originally, before I understood that Wes Lee was injured, this was a 4-on-4. I was going to have the original Rascals, Zachary Wentz, Wes Lee, and Trey Miguel, and Myron Reed against uh, the other team. But I had to cut that down to a trios because Wesley's back is injured or something. So you have Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel and Myron Reed against Team GCW. of Alec Price, Jordan Oliver, and Blake Christian. I think this would make for a spectacle. All six of these guys are young, hungry, talented. They they put their bodies on the line in almost every match that they have. And a lot of these guys, I feel, um, now it's given that this event is is like a WrestleMania, right? They are the opening match because aside from Wentz, who was in WWE, and Blake Christian, but he was only on 205 Live and NXT for a little bit.
Yeah.
The the mainstream wrestling audience has not seen these guys, and that's why they're in the opener. Um, yeah, I think it would be just a good time.
For sure. Yeah, I think like this is definitely like one of those big high flying matches. I mean, lots of spots off of ladders, lots of bodies flying. It definitely will give you that feel of oh, this is a WrestleMania caliber pay per view. If this was to open the show,
Well,
absolutely.
it wouldn't be off ladders. It would be off of those huge constructions that keep
Yeah.
the X. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
or they'll bring in ladders. Who knows? You can do
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe.
They just want to inflict all the pain, but um, just because I've seen a little bit more of them, I would probably have the Rascals go over on this match personally.
I think that that is logical. Uh, but I feel I feel a certain way about Jordan Oliver, so I would have him win the match for Team GCW. Uh, he's a guy that he was former partners with Myron Reed in MLW. He was
Oh yeah,
former
yeah, you said
partners
that.
with not Dylan McKay, Griffin McCoy, and he was former partners with one Nick Wayne. And Nick Wayne got into AEW, um, and kind of had the has the rocket strapped to him. And Jordan has just come off a great run as JCW champion. He's done great things in GCW. He just went on a world tour. He worked in DDT, worked in some other places in Japan and the UK and such. And I think just to give him the shine, I would have that team win.
Okay, that's fair enough. So
But Trey Miguel does have the experience with the Ultimate X match, so
yeah. So my second match is actually a match that was supposed to happen at AEW Revolution, but you know it didn't happen. So I'm having it happen here. It is Meat Madness, and we got all the big meaty men slapping each other with their beef jerkies. It's gonna be. I'm just saying. It's gonna be from AEW Miro versus Lance Archer versus the Machine Brian Cage versus Otis of Alpha Academy versus Karrion Kross versus Braun Breaker. Now I'm not gonna lie, I originally wanted Braun Strowman in here and even Big E, but you know. So yeah, this would I think it would be like the big guy version of your previous match in a way, Tim. And
mm,
this would actually absolutely I need to see Lance Archer and Karrion Kross facing off. Like that's really the main thing that I would love to see here. And just all these guys just absolutely going at it.
yeah, that would be a spectacle. I would personally like to see Miro and Braun Breaker face off.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
there is so when you mentioned Braun Breaker earlier this week, there was a match that got cut from my two shows, but I'm gonna mention it right now, and I'm kind of disappointed you didn't include this guy in this match. Wardlow versus Braun Breaker would be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
he was doing,
but
you know.
yeah. No, I mean I could have put it on my card and I didn't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So like um I think the person who would win this match would either be Miro or Braun Breaker.
I agree.
Um and and it depends on how you want to do it. Like if you want to go with the future, then you go with Braun Breaker. But if you want to reestablish a guy who's stopped and started his career multiple times, you go with Miro.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
so
like right now, currently, Braun Breaker, from what I remembered, he's a NXT Tag Champs with Baron Corbin. So I mean, he's still
yes,
got that momentum. So I personally would just give it to Miro because, like you said, he's been off and on ever since he lost the TNT Championship. He needs something. So I would go with him. But yeah, I think both are viable choices for victors in this match.
I
Yes,
my
sir.
second match uh is a women's tag match. I have Jordan Grace teaming up with Chris Statlander, who, if you don't know, they have had wars with each other on the independent scene, particularly in Beyond Wrestling, before both got jobs in bigger promotions, against the team of Siri of Stardom and Chihiro Hashimoto, who I believe wrestles for Marvelous, but I've seen her in Stardom as well. Um, with uh, I think this match would make people who um so the women's evolution or revolution kind of died down, right? And
Yeah,
in WWE you kind of have more character based stuff, not mat kind of focused now for women. This match would make everyone remember what a hard hitting woman is, what a powerful woman is. Um, these are four of the baddest women on the planet when it comes to pro wrestling. Um, the the interactions between Jordan and Hashimoto would be amazing, and the X factor in this match is like you have Chris, Jordan, and Hashimoto, who are obviously powerhouses, but you have Siri, who's more of a technician and a striker. Um, I I don't know who would win, to be honest.
me neither, man. But we would all as fans would win because this would be a damn good match.
Yeah,
This would be a damn good
it
match,
would.
and yeah, go ahead.
I think it would come down to if Siri could use her abilities to win for her team. If not, um, and she got snuffed out, Jordan and Chris are definitely taking it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I would say the same thing. Like, I would say Siri would get the pin for her team if they were the ones to win. Like, and I think, like you said, I mean, this would put a lot more eyes on like Japanese promotions as well. Like Stardom and Marvelous, and Tokyo Joshi Pro and all those things. Well, I mean, they have, but yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. I think if Suri and Hashimoto won, it would, I think, I would think people would develop some sort of interest in these Joshi promotions and watch it. But
I would want to, like, let's say Chris and Jordan won. I would want Hashimoto. I want there to be a period of time in the match where it's Hashimoto and Jordan Grace, where it's the what's the phrase they always say immovable object against the
The
unstoppable
unstoppable
force.
force. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would like to see coming out of this like a kind of an influx of how we have the CMLL guys in AEW right now for a period of time. I'd like to
Yeah.
see like um Joshi wrestlers, coming into TNA and AEW for a little bit,
Hmm.
wherever. Um
Well, I have something for you in the future in this card. I think you know which one it is, but I got something for you for that.
yes, and I think it's fucking genius.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
yeah, genius. Oh, that's another hint. Anyway, um, so I mean,
Oh, I didn't even mean that
yeah,
like that, but
I know, but I just thought of that. Though, no, this I think this would be a great match, and I can't tell you who I got going over. I'm a little okay, kind of like the Wardlow versus Braun Breaker for you. I'm disappointed I didn't do Jordan Grace versus Saya Ida on my card. That would have been yeah, that would have been awesome. But it's okay.
yeah, I wanted to include Saya, but Saya is a little. She's still kind of being treated as a younger talent, and she has not reached that where I feel like she should be if she was going to be on these shows.
Fair
Give
enough.
it a couple of years, and if we do an armbar mania down the line, she's definitely going to be
I mean, we should
in
do
a
it again.
powerhouse role in a match.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we should definitely do it again. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But my next match is probably like the first like well, I mean these they're all big names, but this is like the really big name match that I feel that I had the first one. Um, and this is in a way kind of a dream match, and I think this would be very interesting to see. But I went with Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, versus the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. I just want to hear Roman Reigns go, Okada, acknowledge me.
And he just do the Rainmaker pose like "fuck
Exactly.
you,
Yeah.
dude."
Yeah. The
Uh,
Roman would be doing this, and he'd just do this.
I do have a question
Sure.
about this match.
Uh oh.
Why is it only number three?
Because I have because I think I put it in in this place just so early on so that the people will get more and more invested. I want like what I went with my mindset was night 1 was to have some more of these bigger names so that people are invested in what I have, and then night 2 is like honestly like more dream matches for me, and so
Yeah,
hopefully we'll
yeah.
do that. But yeah, I just put them. I just put them because I have
I mean,
like
'cause Roman's the top guy of the top company on the planet, and
yeah,
Okada is top guy in this
I know,
in Japan. And
true,
but
but
I mean, it's your show. I was just wondering how you've like leveled that out. Um,
yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to
I
put them in there like that.
I have a version of this match as my main event,
Yes,
so I'm not really going to give predictions here.
me neither.
But yeah. So obviously, I want to see them wrestle, but yeah.
Definitely.
So m- my third match um is a tornado tag, and it's kind of like fathers and sons versus each other.
Yes.
Obviously with Hook, I can't have his father. So and as AEW has been showing, it kind of looks like we're getting a Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and Hook affiliation of some sort. There's a
Yeah.
proposition being made from Chris Jericho to Hook next week on Dynamite, and they have tag team together, and they recently wrestled each other, and Hook took them to Suplex City. Um, so we have Jericho and Hook against the patriarchy of Christian Cage, the Father of the Year, and Nick Wayne against father and son, you cannot break blood. You cannot ruin that. I know that Dom is dirty now, but
Hmm.
and Ray is on SmackDown, and he's he's leading all the Latins. I mean, if you watch SmackDown, there's so much diversity, and a lot of it is Latin men.
Hmm.
Um, the Mysterios, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't think about who was gonna win in this match. If you put a gun to my head right now, I'd tell you that somehow Christian would win the match. But what I would look forward to is stare down and a bit of work between Hook and Dom. I think ever since
I
both of
would
them
love that.
got prominent roles, a lot of
Yeah.
people have been saying who's better, this or that. Um, I think Nick Wayne's an X factor there. I mean, you got guys, you know, three veterans who know each other really well, know how to work, know how to call things on the fly. You
Yep.
have uh you have Dom who's been in the WWE system. You have Hook who's obviously like channeling his father with the way he wrestles, and then you have Nick Wayne who's a bouncy boy. So I think it would come down to the cunning of Christian, and if Mother Wayne and Luchas Killswitch got involved, um,
Right.
yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, Christian Cage did just lose the TNT Championship to Adam Copeland, but I think I would want to send him down a downward spiral a little bit even more, just to see what would happen. And I think, you know, I think that Lion Hook is a newer established team, so I think giving them the win here would definitely like give them that the kind of
In your
that
scenario,
statement.
Hook should uh, put Christian to sleep.
He should. I would love that.
Yeah.
And then no, the final image should be Nick Wayne holding his father in his lap, and just I would love that.
You disappointed me.
No,
You're
no,
not
no,
the father I thought you were.
no. It would be more of like a, if you've seen Godfather, like a look how they massacred my
You put
boy
the-
kind of, except look how they
Right,
massacred my dad.
right. But then, like the next week on television, you
You
get Nick Wayne like
Yeah, he
doubting
just slaps
Christians.
Christian Cage and then leaves. And then Killswitch
Hmm.
picks him up and like throws him down and takes off the mask, like you said. And then Mother Wayne
Please
kicks
God.
Christian in the balls. And yeah, just a bad time to be a stuffed up, tanned Canadian. Anyway, yeah. Anyway,
I love how Christian does that. He's such an
yeah,
asshole.
he is an asshole. I love it.
So you're number 4?
Yeah, number 4. This is actually my first women's match on the card, and one of the women have already shown up in your card, but I wanted to do this, and this is a dream. This is a dream match for me because this is two. You know what? I can't do that. I can't do the same thing as I did for the Meat Madness. I can't use that analogy because I get canceled. Um, we have Mommy Rhea Ripley versus Chris Statlander. And I think this would be just two women beating the absolute crap out of each other, and I love to see it. It would make JBL go all kinds of crazy, but because he likes
Um,
big muscular women or some shit like that.
does he? I
Apparently,
don't know.
apparently,
Um,
yeah, I saw that from another YouTube channel called Cultaholic. There's this dude who makes fun of JBL, and he says, "Oh, JBL, he likes big sweaty women or something like that."
wow.
Yeah,
Um,
it's JBL.
earlier in the week, this was the only match that was on both of our cards. And because I had more women that I wanted to add to my show, it didn't make it onto my card. So I'm glad it happened here.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely a match the people need to see. Um, two tall, strong, young women. Um, it can go anyway, in my opinion. Uh, but I just don't think you take the fire off of Rhea Ripley. Like, especially whenever she pulled out that what's her finisher called?
Oh, Jesus, I forgot. Called fuck. I don't know what.
Riptide?
Riptide, yes.
Riptide, right? Yeah. She
Yeah.
did the Riptide off the top rope in NXT UK to become the champion. And I just feel like I don't think Statlander doesn't have something to counteract that, and I don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
Um, because it is a brainchild of Claudio Castellini, just so you know.
Oh,
But
makes sense.
yeah, he helped her with that spot. Um, but yeah, I think Rhea would go over Chris, but I think it would be a very, very good match.
I agree on both accounts. That I would also have Rhea going over because you do not bet against mommy. So yeah,
He's mommy for a reason.
that's right.
Um, my fourth match was the match where I spoke earlier, where sometimes there's more than one opponent for a wrestler. Uh, Obviously, I wanted Konosuke Takeshita on this show.
Yeah.
My first, my first choice was the choice that I went with um, Yota Tsuji, who just won the New Japan Cup. Ever since he's come back from excursion last year, he has been just shooting to the top of New Japan. Um, I think this would make a great match. Now, my other thought for Konosuke Takeshita was Sami Zayn, particularly El
Yeah.
Generico coming back from Mexico, um,
Yeah.
because two of
He survived the
Takeshita's
fire.
two of Takeshita's main moves, the Blue Thunder Bomb and the Turnbuckle Brainbuster, were were solidified in the West by El Generico / Sami Zayn. But I ultimately went with Yota Tsuji because number one, I didn't want a lot of matches just being Western versus Eastern.
Yeah.
Also, I think they both
That was my job.
represent certain things, like the similar things. You have Takeshita, who has more experience than Yota Tsuji, but he came through a lower place in Japan and he made it into AEW. And since he's been in AEW, he's been putting banger after banger. And he goes back to DDT and puts on bangers. He goes back to other parts of Japan and puts on bangers. But he still hasn't held that a title. He still hasn't had, he beat Omega twice, once in a multi-man match, but he hasn't held a title and he hasn't had a really huge win. Similarly, Yota Tsuji, who is in a younger position than Konosuke Takeshita in his promotion, he um he hasn't won the a title yet, and but he's been on the cusp. I mean, when he came back from excursion, he went right after Sonata. He's been in the picture, and like I said, he just won the New Japan Cup, so he's going against Naito at Sakura Genesis. But and you also look at these guys, and this is not like this is not to be taken offense or anything. You don't see many Japanese men the size of Yota Tsuji and Konosuke Takeshita, and
There you go.
that was another thing that made me pick these two guys. Um, I think I would have Konosuke Takeshita going over
Same.
just because just because number one, you know, commentary would say he's from DDT, which is his way lesser promotion than New Japan. But he made his way to America on American screens before Suji. But they're both kind of in the same boat because they haven't gotten that big win yet. And I feel like Takeshita's ready for that big win. And Suji's right behind him, but it's not going to happen on Takeshita's time.
Right.
One spot in particular that I would like to see is the double jump curb stomp off the top rope that Suji does, being countered into a Blue Thunder bomb. I think that
Oh,
would be
that would be
sick as fuck.
so fucking awesome.
I also think Takeshita's flying clothesline being countered with a jumping knee from into the arm from Suji would be dope. But yeah, Takeshita wins.
Yeah, I gotta say that. I gotta agree. Another match that I think would have been cool for Takeshita is him and Roman. Only reason Don Callis versus Paul Heyman on promos.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason. I mean, the match would have been fine too, but like the promos you could get from both of those men. Oh my god.
Oh my god, they'd kill each other.
Oh my.
I think at one point they would stop talking, they would actually fight because they would get under each other's skin so bad.
I would have loved it. Anyway. All right. So, but yes, I'm going for Takeshita on your card as well. And by the way, he's on my card in night 2, and you'll see why. Okay. So, this match, my 5th match on the card is actually a celebration of yesteryear in a way. A celebration of an era that a lot of wrestling fans do enjoy, and a lot of them kind of want back. I don't I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that, but this is just something more for you people. So we have, and I'm going to be very specific with these, Lionheart Chris Jericho versus the current version of The Rock, the Hollywood final boss Rock. These two have had many matches. They've went to war before, but this right here is a hold on, just one sec. This right here would be just a culmination of yesteryear, and The Rock saying, hey, yeah, we both left, but I actually came back home. You were somewhere else and trying to make yourself, something different. But I never had to shit like that. And the promos again would be great. And so yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Tim.
the only thing is Lionheart never made it to WWE. So
Yeah,
it is yesteryear though.
exactly. Yeah.
Like Lionheart was yeah. Um Chris Jericho, if you listen to Talk is Jericho, especially, the early episodes, Chris Jericho and The Rock have a lot of history and a lot of history off the camera. Um, like in dark matches and being friends in real life and you know such their promos back in the day on TV and off TV were amazing and just really they really had great chemistry.
They
So
did.
it would be really really cool to see that match. Um I think oh, I love The Rock on the mic. I love The Rock as an actor.
Yeah.
Like I find him entertaining, but I don't I don't think he's as good of a wrestler as Chris Jericho.
No, he's not.
Um,
No, he's not. He's
but
a showman, dude.
right. Um, I'm not I'm not gonna pick a winner. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
if I went with my heart, I would pick Chris Jericho.
Your heart
But
says Lionheart.
yeah, but my mind kind of says Austin comes in, Kurt Angle comes in, they recreate the undisputed title little tournament, and they all hit finishers and drink beers together. Yeah.
I, I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with that because remember, this match is a celebration at the end of the day. So it's not really like a.
Yeah.
There's no story here. It's just two guys who used to run together and they're just running it back.
Like I think I would see, so like let's say the Rock hits a rock bottom
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting ready to do the elbow, and then all of a sudden Kurt Angle comes out
Hits an ankle
and
slam.
hits an angle slam, and then you hear the glass shatter, and Stone Cold comes down and hits a stunner, and then Jericho's up again and
Moonsault.
he hits a code breaker or something. He would have to hit a standing move, so either a code breaker or a Judas effect on Austin, and then he like goes to cover the Rock, but the Rock kicks out, and then everybody's kind of up, and like the Rock and Jericho were like, "What are these assholes doing here?" And like they just kind of brawl and then drink or something.
Probably. Although I could definitely see the Judas effect being turned into a rock bottom. That would be interesting. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like a little duck and come up
yeah,
into the Uragi.
yeah. There you go. So yeah. All right. What was your match, Tim? What you got?
I don't know. Uh,
Actually, your match is like way more athletic than mine.
yeah, I chose to get Escalera de la Muerte, which was the match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, where they were in a cage and
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
but there was all kinds of shenanigans. Like Matt Jackson had the thumbtacks in his shoe and did the super kick. Now,
That was a
this
damn good match,
match,
by the way.
I I do have a winner, a clear winner, and I do have a story. So right now, you everybody knows the Lucha Bros, and they're the best brothers in Lucha Libre, etc., etc. But right now, and for the past year or so, two other Luchador brothers have been doing a lot of good in pro wrestling Noah, Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf. This past month when they challenged, I believe it was in March, maybe the end of February, where they challenged GLG for the tag team titles. It was one of my matches of that month. Like it was so good. Um, and I originally wanted this to be the Lucha Brothers against
Yeah.
Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf, but Ray Phoenix is injured, as we have seen. Hilarious, as we have seen. On AEW television, Commander has been taking his place with Penta. Um, this match would be absolutely bonkers, balls to the wall, athleticism at its peak, and Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf would win. And Penta would get on the mic and be like, Zero Miedo, you know, I might be here bloody and lost, but I'm not afraid of you. And they would be like, Why? Why aren't you afraid of us? We beat you. And then Ray Phoenix would make an appearance and there would be a standoff. So there would be another match in the future where it would be the actual Lucha Brothers against Los Guiapur. It's something with a G. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf.
Now I don't know who's going over. That's just a great idea. So screw it. I'm just gonna go with yours. Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane. It is. As much as I love Commander and Penta. So
Imagine that crazy bastard commander walking. Okay, so there has been a clip of in TNA wrestling that has been all over wrestling social media for years, and it was when Elix Skipper walked on top of the octagon cage and hit a Spanish fly, right?
nice.
Imagine Commander walking the length of one of the cages and doing a flip like he does with the ropes. Fucking crazy. He would do it. I
He
know
would
he
do
would.
it. Yeah, he would.
I'd make I'd make him, because I'm the
Yeah,
booker. I'd,
that's right. Like you do it, man. And here's the thing: he'd do it without freaking ripping his arm out of his socket like Phoenix, unlike Phoenix. So this same at this point, like you know what, Phoenix should only wrestle pay-per-views at this point, just because like he comes in, wrestles Dynamite or Rampage, and then he goes away because he gets injured. That's like, dude,
his career really is a disappointment to me, man.
yeah,
Because when I first seen him in Lucha Underground, I was like, this guy gives me the same feeling as Rey Mysterio
Rey
did in like
Mysterio,
'97, and it's just a shame that you
yeah.
know
What are you gonna do? All right, so
I'm gonna ask you what your next is. That's what
oh,
I'm gonna do.
well, my next match is actually so the reason why I had all these like matches like Reigns and Okada and Rock and Jericho is because the next half is actually like matches that kind of define future generations in a bit. Maybe not this one particularly, but these are two guys who are still really hot. Um, I went with a singles match. Eddie Kingston, the Mad King, the King of Bums, versus the A-lister, The Miz. And I just want to see an episode of Miz TV with Eddie Kingston. That's all you need to know. I was originally going to have Kevin Owens in this match, but The Miz is like so much the antithesis of Eddie Kingston. It makes I just thought that made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm just
I
gonna say
mean,
it. Eddie's gonna
you know,
murder The Miz. Eddie
you
kills Miz.
could you could even have this be start as a Miz TV segment
Yeah.
and turn it into a match. Because like didn't last year wasn't last WrestleMania where like it was Snoop Dogg and the Miz, and then Shane tried to do something and broke his legs while
Yeah.
he was trying to do it.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, I mean, like on
Yes. No, you're
on
right.
on the grandest stage of them all, they do things like that. So you could definitely have it be a Miz TV segment that turns into a match.
That'd
Um,
be cool too.
yeah, I would want to see this as a program. You know, I would want to see weeks of buildup. I want to see them just talking. You know,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
like because you take Daniel Bryan and or Bryan Danielson and see how him and the Miz feuded in WWE, and we all remember how the Miz on Talking Smack just like ripped him apart. And Bryan just laughed and was like, "Nah, I'd be in the Tokyo Dome." And Miz was just like, "I'm not having any of it. You're not getting the shine. I'm doing this." And he just went off. But the difference between Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston is that Eddie is passionate. Eddie
Yeah.
is insane. He's not going to let the Miz hit him with that fire. He's going to meet that fire with an inferno. So it would just be great.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Eddie Kingston would murder The Miz in the ring, and Maurice would cry, and then fuck Eddie Kingston after that, and then
Whoa, man!
yeah,
You just turned Miz into a cuck, man.
I
Are
mean,
they are
they,
they
they
gonna
did
do
a
that
whole
on?
freaking they did a whole freaking angle about his balls being adequate and shit. Okay, I don't care.
Why should you?
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, it
All
won't
right.
it won't be
So
like the Edge and Lita bedroom thing, but.
My next match is
Anyways.
a pure rules gauntlet. And this match went through many iterations before I decided on a gauntlet, before I decided on the people involved. Um, the participants are Chad Gable, Alex Kane, Zack Sabre Jr., Josh Alexander, Jonathan Gresham, and Bryan Danielson. Um, from
Whew.
so this is how I would book it. Alex Kane and Chad Gable would wrestle first. Alex Kane, it would be a suplex. I mean, there would be many series of suplexes. Chad Gable would end up beating Alex Kane, but Alex Kane would be remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd go over in defeat, basically. Next, you would have Bryan Danielson come in. He'd beat Chad Gable. You'd have Josh Alexander come down. He'd beat Josh Alexander. You would have Jonathan Gresham come down. It would be the longer part of this match because I almost went with just Jonathan Gresham against Bryan Danielson, but I wanted these other guys involved. And I have a story. I'm continuing the story between Sabre and Danielson in this. And you ultimately have Danielson beat Gresham. And now out comes the guy he beat the way he didn't want to beat him, who just beat him in a technical match in New Japan, Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. is fresh. Danielson, older than Sabre. Danielson just went through Chad Gable, Josh Alexander, Jonathan Gresham. But he's still got the fire. It's like if you remember, there was a time during the Yes movement where he had to do a gauntlet and he went through the Americans and other people and stuff like that. And at one point, Claudio came in and just hammered him with European uppercuts, I think like 20 to 25 of them, and he still went through. So he's going to show that he still has the fire in him to continue the match. But ultimately, he's going to try to choke Zack Sabre Jr.
Let him
Zack
do
is
that.
going to turn it into his special pin where he does the bridge with his neck and he will win the Pure Rules Gauntlet. And afterwards, Danielson will finally say, "We've settled it. You won. You are you are the best technical wrestler in the world." Dave Meltzer comes out. He has an award paper that says the Bryan Danielson Award. He rips it up,
The Zack
and he
Sabre
has a
Jr.
new one that says Zack Sabre Jr. Award.
I would love that. I would love
or
that.
or or that doesn't happen, and Zack just starts carrying a plaque that says Zack Sabre Jr. Award.
I would either way. I would love to see that, and I think you gave a really good outline of how the match goes, and I'm going with you, Zack Sabre Jr. for the win. I love it. And here's the thing, spoiler: I also have a pure match on this card. It's a smaller
Yes,
scale.
and I love.
Yeah, we'll get into that. It's not this one; it's the one after it. But this next match, I think, also is a celebration of the people who are like prominent now and the big stars who should be getting that push or are getting that said push. Um, this is gonna be a singles match between Swerve Strickland and you know whose game it is, L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see again. Another thing I want to see is LA Knight just repeatedly screaming "yeah" at Prince Nana, who just keeps doing this.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say. The first like 2 minutes of the match should just be that.
I yes, yes, and I would actually have Swerve go over here because you know what, he is being fast tracked towards Samoa Joe and the AEW World Title, and this win I think would help him propel him towards that spot. But the match would be damn good.
Great. Agreed. 100. 100. I'm on the same page as
100.
you.
100.
That's right. 100. No cap. All that bullshit.
Yeah.
Um,
The risen
my next
yards.
match,
I don't
my
know.
next match is my second and final women's match of night one. Rhea Ripley against the champion of Stardom right now, uh, the Empress Micah. And
Mommy
just
versus
like I said
Micah.
earlier in your match against
Chris.
Chris Statlander, I have Rhea going over here, but a lot of eyes are going to be turned to Micah. A lot of eyes are going to be turned to Joshi Wrestling. It's going to be brutal, uh, and there's going to be slams and strikes and just abound. But yeah, Rhea's winning.
Yeah. Rhea is definitely winning. Because again, don't bet against mommy. That's all I can say. All right, now it's my turn for the pure match. This is, of course, way smaller scale. This is just a one-on-one pure rules match. I've been really, I do have to thank you, Tim, for introducing me to pure matches because they've become some of my favorites. Not just because of Shibata. I do really like them. You know, they're fucking
Before
dope.
Ring of Honor before Ring of Honor died and they kind of like made a resurgence during the pandemic, they started off by bringing the pure title back and having a tournament. And if you go back in Armbar Audio history, John and I covered it, and we got into it really heavy, really heavy. But go ahead.
My next match is Daniel Garcia versus Chad Gable in a pure rules match. And a little bit of fun in this match. Daniel Garcia can be doing this while Chad Gable does the shoosh. Like, that's going to be his response. Like, Garcia's going to do this and he's going to go shoosh. And he's going to keep doing it. And Chad's going to get so pissed off. And then he just starts wailing on him. But at the end of the day, I do have Garcia going over here because I think Chad Gable would, I think he would use all of his rope breaks, but both of these guys would do some amazing mat wrestling. But finally, since Garcia also does a lot of striking, he would use that to his advantage, and he would pin Chad Gable finally, or make him tap.
Daniel Garcia has more experience in pure rules matches. He's a former pure champion, and he's got that dirty dog in him, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all I can think
I got
about with
Garcia going over too.
when I think Garcia, all I can think of is like fire, because he has that in him, and he has an abundance of it. So yeah, this kid's white
Absolutely.
hot, absolutely white hot. And Chad's great too. I love Chad Gable and whatnot, but yeah, I think Daniel Garcia needs to go over here.
Yes. My next match is brutal. There's going to be blood, specifically from chests and heads. You have ring conf of Walter, Axel Dieter Jr., and Timothy Thatcher against a group I call Bounded by Blood, which is Minoru Suzuki, John Moxley, and Shota Umino. Um,
I love
Suzuki
this.
and Moxley have had matches together and have earned each other's respect. I feel if you call Minoru Suzuki Murder Grandpa, you would have to call Moxley Deathly Daddy or something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, since from day one in his New Japan experience, Moxley took young Shooter under his wing. Um,
He keeps doing this.
I I think it goes to think it either goes to a time limit draw or a double knockout. Like I don't know. I just see them beating the holy shit out of each other, and
Damn right.
it not ending. It not ending until someone makes it end, like someone outside. I just I think Moxley is gonna get ridiculous. I think Walter's gonna get ridiculous. You know, bones will break,
Hmm.
blood will be shed, and it's gonna get to a point where it's too brutal, and they just decide we gotta stop this, and they'll just continue to fight, and you could pull so many different stories and matches out of that because there's 6 men involved.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just it would just be
Yeah.
beautiful fucking violence.
Yeah. A match that I think John would love for sure. Yeah. I'm serious. He would love. He would love it. He would love my main event too. I'll tell you that much. But um, by the way, nice Ninja Turtle pants. Um, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, these pajamas from Box Lunch, I have like 5 pairs of them, dude. They're so comfortable.
Nice.
I got Ninja Turtles, Steven Universe. I got the evolutions of like Blastoise, Squirtle, and War Turtle. I have Akatsuki from Naruto, and I feel like I'm leaving another one out, but it doesn't matter. I'm a
It
nerd.
doesn't matter what you know. Dude, I think I want to see the one thing that I want to see is I definitely want to see Moxley and Thatcher get in each other's faces. Walter and Suzuki just need to kill each other with chops, and Shooter and Alex Dieter can mix it up. But I actually do have a winner for this match. It's the paramedics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I had that same answer because someone said, who would win between perked up Kurt Angle and New Jack on Coke? Yeah, same thing. The paramedics.
I think I saw
Yeah, that was a while back.
that meme or you know
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so my penultimate match is the female version.
Oh, John loves using that fucking word.
Yeah. Penultimate match is the female version kind of what you got going on here, but it is a showcase of Joshi wrestling and what Joshi wrestling is. And I think since all 6 of these women are in AEW and WWE, they're on that bigger, grander stage. I think they will be a very good gateway to other Joshi promotions such as Stardom, Tokyo Joshi, Marvelous, and many others. I've got the team of Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Emi Sakura versus Io Sky slash Io Shirai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Like, whoo, boy. I would absolutely. This would just be so good because, like, Shida has, a lot of the, she's a lot more technical for sure. And, like, seeing her just, maybe even kick Io while she's doing, like, a moonsault or, just to grab Kairi out of the sky as she's about to hit an elbow drop and, drop her to the ground or something. Dude, I would love that. Or just everyone takes
You could be
turns
a lot.
jumping on each other.
I would like to see Asuka and Emi Sakura because they're in this match they're the elder statesmen,
Yeah.
and it would be cool to see that happen. Um, I definitely have a clear winner in this match. Um, I really wanted to include um, damage control in my cards, but I just didn't have the space. Um, that aside from Mayu Iwatani and maybe a couple other women in Japan, I think the best Joshi wrestlers are the women of Damage Control. Um, Asuka, Asuka is literally the most successful um wrestler that went from the east to the west. She's done literally everything in the biggest company. She's a Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner, held every title,
Yeah.
um, had the longest winning streak. So fuck Goldberg, straight up, straight
Yes.
the fuck up. You racist, you xenophobic, sexist piece of shit. No one fucking cares about your career. No one ever fucking did. We only did when we were kids because we didn't understand what we were watching. Fuck you.
I still like this theme song.
Either way.
Yeah, but
Um,
no, fuck him. But thanks for the theme song.
uh, right. Asuka, Kyrie, and Io,
Oh
um,
yeah.
definitely win this match.
Oh yeah. 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 I don't know. I would agree with that. And but all I know is this match, again, in the spirit of John, this match would fuck. So. Yeah.
You
We
know
miss.
what?
I
If
missed that
that
big
match
motherfucker.
actually did fuck, I'd definitely watch it, Um,
Yeah.
sorry. My penultimate match is two guys who are smart, athletic, and defensive.
Oh yeah. I like this one.
You got Switchblade Jay White against what does he call himself? The Visionary?
I don't know. Just just
Is he still the Visionary?
I think so, but yeah, he's freaking Seth freaking Rollins now. So
And before they came out, they would have a segment where both were interviewed about each other, and Jay White would just rip
he would.
Seth Rollins to shreds about the way he dresses and his stupid, phony, weird laugh. Um, I think this match would fuck, dude.
He would.
Like Seth has so many spots where Jay could take advantage. Like Seth does that Falcon Arrow off the top and then turns it into another Falcon Arrow or whatever. He does like the three suicide dives. He does the curb stomp, and Jay White, a wrestler like Jay White, could easily take advantage of all of those spots. Um, but also you have, Seth is just as smart in the ring, and um, I love Seth Rollins, but I'm going with Jay White.
Oh yeah, Jay White for sure. Now I'll be honest with you, Seth is on my card too. He's on night 2, and if Kenny Omega weren't injured, I would have done Seth versus Kenny Omega. But then again, I also did that in the last Armbar Mania, but I do have something different for Seth. But yeah, I think this would be such a close match. It would be a very close match,
Absolutely.
and honestly, I'm gonna say it. Seth and AJ are like the best wrestlers right now on the main roster. And I think Seth though
Walter.
and Walter, yeah. Sorry. I don't want to get chopped by the big murder baby man. Anyway, um yeah, yeah, Walter's the murder baby and Suzuki's the murder grandpa. Imagine that as a family portrait. Anyways, um, uh, but no, I think Seth would finally.
Suki was just sitting in a nice recliner with a pipe in his mouth or whatever, and a leather-bound book next to him, holding a coddled, like swaddled Walter.
Yeah, a little pacifier
Oh
in
my,
his mouth and
oh my
everything.
god. So please, if anyone listens or watches this podcast and you have like an AI art generator, make that happen
Yeah,
and send it to us. I need it.
yeah. But I think Seth. This is the thing is, Seth would actually have someone who like challenges him in the ring, like technically and psychologically, in this match in the form of Jay White, and finally Jay White can show him how it's done by hitting that Blade Runner after a hellacious match and getting the W.
Amen.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
main event of Armbar Mania Night 1 for Sid is.
Is a bit of an emotional match for me because unfortunately last year,
Is that a Punjabi prison match?
yeah, yes, absolutely. No, it's not. It is absolutely not a Punjabi prison match because that was
Y'all don't know, but before Sid got to this country, he did spend some time in a Punjabi prison.
yeah I did. We don't talk about that anyway. Uh, yeah, no, yeah, everyone's gonna dig into my record books now. Gee, thanks. Anyway, um, but this match right here is actually because we lost. Well, I was gonna make it a tribute to two people, but I decided to just keep it to one, not because I don't like the other person. It's just anyway. But we unfortunately lost Wyndham Rotunda
Because
slash, huh?
because both of these guys were contemporaries
They were.
of Wyndham.
Yeah, we lost Wyndham slash Bray Wyatt, and y'all know I didn't get over it for like 2 weeks. I'm still kind of not over it, and in a
Yeah, I
way,
can't wait till the documentary.
oh yeah, that's gonna be good. That's why they didn't put him in the Hall of Fame this year. Which is fine. Um, this would also be a match that I really think John would like because he was a huge fan of hardcore matches, huge fan of death matches. And these two, like you said, are contemporaries of Bray Wyatt, and I think they carry the spirit of Bray Wyatt in a way with them. So my main event for night one is a Bray Wyatt tribute match between Malachi Black and the Demon Finn Balor in a 3 stages of hell match. Finn Balor has all but retired the Demon, especially after he got squashed by Roman Reigns, which anyway, but he brings it back just for one night. And if possible, I would love for him to have the paint be similar, be like be like the Fiend. Have it look like the Fiend. Like when he comes out with those braids, have them be like blonde braids, so it looks properly like the Fiend. Judgment Day can accompany Balor to the ring. House of Black can accompany Malachi to the ring. And like I said, 3 stages of hell. I would have the first stage be obviously a regular wrestling match. The second stage, no disqualification. Third, this is kind of where the Terry Funk kind of comes in, because I was going to do Bray Wyatt slash Terry Funk, but we're just going to do Bray Wyatt. But it would be a barbed wire cage match. So,
Fucking A.
yeah.
Who you got winning?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
I think I think because of the history. I think because of the history between Wyndham and Finn, uh, the match that never happened, um, and because you have him literally coming out as Demon Fiend, you have Finn Balor go over.
That makes sense. I kind of want Finn. I know. So after Bray passed, Rollins in a house show did like the crab, and like he actually even hit a Sister Abigail on somebody. I kind of want Balor to do the same thing. Like let Balor come in his entrance with the dreads. Like let him do the whatever crab spider walk, and let him walk towards Malachi Black while he's sitting down.
Yeah, and if I feel like if Finn does that, then Malachi should hit the sister Abigail. Like, because they're both participants in this
True.
tribute.
Yeah.
So having Malachi not do anything in remembrance,
True.
um,
Yeah, you should do that.
but yeah, yeah, I would go with Demon Fiend.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that too. And what is your main event, good sir?
Um, my main event for Armbar Mania Night One is a trios match. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson with the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada against Roman Reigns, the Bad Uso, and Solo Sikoa.
Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah, Jimmy. There you go. Uh, it's a shame that Jay is good because I feel that it would be a better match.
Yeah, I agree. Well, then you'll like
but
night
um,
two. Then you'll like what I got for night two.
but yeah, I wanted to see these two factions wrestle each other for a long time, no matter what the iteration was. And this is the current iteration, so that's what we're going with. Um, Paul Heyman tries to pull his shit, and it doesn't work because Tony Khan comes down and like they get into a scuffle. Let's just say that they get into a
Okay.
scuffle.
Tony Khan gets physical.
Um, with Paul with the walrus, yes, or the penguin.
The
Um,
Walrus. Yeah.
at at this point, the Rock, has already had his fun, and he's behind the behind the board or whatever, so he's not getting involved. And Roman has nobody else to rely on, so it's literally 3 versus 3, and um, we actually see a lot of fight and a lot of determination out of the bloodline. We see once Paul Heyman gets out of the way and they realize that they don't have anybody else to rely on, we get a real wrestling match. Solo Sikoa of NXT is shown. The brilliance of the Usos is shown. The 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 actual wrestler of Roman Reigns is shown.
Hmm.
But the end will have Roman Reigns setting up for a spear on Okada, and out of the other corners, he gets super kicked in the fucking face by both Matthew and Nicholas, who immediately flip to the outside onto Solo and
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Dude, it's been what, 15 years?
Yeah.
15 years, and I still don't know who's who. I
I.
do whenever I watch the show because they finally cut their hair. Like one of them cut their hair,
Yeah.
but
The good one cut his hair.
I okay. Um, and Okada hits Roman with the Rainmaker, and that's it.
I would love
Of
it.
course, though, there would be a lot of Rainmakers. There'd be a couple of Rainmakers that are turned into slams of some sort.
Like a
Uh, you
hit
know,
that Samoan drop. Like just take the Rainmaker and Roman hits a Samoan drop on him.
yeah, something like that. You would have a lot of counters and whatnot, but that's how I see the end of Armbar Mania Tim's edition night one ending with
I love it.
rain, with money coming down, and Okada doing the pose, and Matthew and Nicholas, you know, kind of put their heel persona to the side. Like as soon as Heyman's out of the picture, there is no good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just wrestlers.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So next week, well, who would you have win that match, Sid?
Yeah. The elite as well. I'm going with the elite. I love the scenario you just gave. So I'll next week I'll be more prepared with scenarios for my card. I didn't prepare this at all. So
It's all right, man. Neither did I. Shit comes off the top of my head.
nice.
Um, so next week we will be doing Armbar Mania Night 2. It'll be similar to this episode, except we won't be really talking about WrestleMania at all. I
Yeah.
don't think, unless
No.
some shit happens. Maybe we'll talk about AEW Dynasty, but then that's like April
That's
20th.
yeah.
So
No.
yeah,
We'll just
no,
get into the card.
just be into the card. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one. Peace and love to all of you.
Bye.